What's up, Castro? How y'all doing tonight, man? I have had a hell of a last 2 hours, man. I got a husky and a pit bull lab mix, and they decided they're going on an adventure. And it took me 2 hours to find them. I finally found them. They get in the car, and apparently they found some sewage too. And the whole car stinks. So if you come around me, I had to give them a bath before I ran up and drove up here. So if I stink, I'm sorry. It's my dog's fault. I'm blaming them. But oh man, yeah, it is a good excuse. This. I'm a guy. I usually stink anyways, so fuck it. That was my wife up there. We've been married 16 years, and thank you. And I appreciate it. I had a friend ask me, how do you make it to 16 years? I was like, well, the first thing is you can't lie to each other. That's the biggest thing. You can never recover from that. Even if you have to, don't get me wrong, in 16 years, I've stretched the truth every now and then, like how many beers you had? 2 or 20, pick a number, we'll just start the fight from there, It was one of those things. But you don't straight up lie to each other, Like she asked me on our anniversary, she's like, baby, do you still think I'm gorgeous? And I was like, I think you're as gorgeous as the day we met. And I meant it. And she said, do you still think I'm nice? And I was like, baby, you're as gorgeous as the day we met. And I meant it, In 16 years, I ain't gonna start lying to her now, But like I said, we got 3 kids, they're 10, 9, and 7. We have 3 dogs and a cat, and we've been quarantined for a year, and I'm glad things are opening up because I'm pretty sure we all fucking hate each other now, And those dogs are a trip. Like I say, the husky, she's less than a year old. She's a handful. And then the pit bull lab mix, the most hyper dog I've ever had in my life. And then we have this 14-year-old chihuahua that just won't fucking die. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I got that dog for my wife on our second Valentine's Day. Now we're about to hit 17 years and this dog's still around. I really think this dog is going to outlive me at this point. I really do, man. But she's a trip. She doesn't give a shit about anything anymore. She's old. She doesn't care, man. Like when we had the snow, we let the dogs out. The big dogs loved it, especially the husky. I'd yell for her to come in and she'd go, fuck you, I'm in my happy place, and just, you want to come in. But the Chihuahua, she walked to the back door, her paws touched that ice, and she just backed up, nope, and just ran to the front door. And I was like, okay, well, maybe she thinks the front doesn't have ice or anything, but no, she took a shit right in front of the door. She didn't care, man. She doesn't care. And when I got over there, she just looked up at me and like, I'm 14. I'm not going to be the first Chihuahua to die in the snow, motherfucker. Clean that up. I'm glad things are starting to open back up, man. It's good to see a good crowd again, man. It's been a while since we've had a good crowd. Every now and then you get them, but the biggest thing for me with this opening back up, though, is the kids get to go back to school. I cannot wait for that. This Zoom shit has been killing me, man. I figured out a while back that I think I got the dad thing down, but I absolutely suck at being a teacher. Like, this is not my thing, man. It goes so bad. It really does. And I'm so glad my wife's there because if she wasn't there to handle it and Google crashes, those kids are going to drop out working the salt mines or something, I don't know what they're just screwed. I don't know what they're going to do. And it goes so, like my 10-year-old, my 4th grader, she came up to me one day and she's all, Dad, what's an adjective? I looked at her and I was like, you're in the 4th grade. You should know what that is by now. Come on, man. Why don't you go study, come back, we'll talk about it. So she turns around, I turn around my phone, I'm like, what is an adjective? Like, fuck, I spelled it wrong. Babe, how do you spell adjective? It's been a while, man. And it gets frustrating with them, too. You get mad at them, and you don't want to get mad at them because, it's not their fault. They're home because I told them to be home. If I told them to go to school, they'd go to school. They're just here for the ride. But it gets so frustrating because you go over the same stuff over and over, and they don't get it. And I told my wife, I was like, as soon as school starts, I am bringing a pack of apples to the teachers a day. Just stay healthy, please. I can't do this, man. But my 3rd grader, she got stuck on the word am. A-M. Like, it destroyed her, man. We'd be reading sentences, and she'd get to the word am, and it would stop her dead in her tracks every single time. And finally, I was like, you know what? I just need to take a break. I'm going to go smoke a bowl, do something, I got to do something and calm down. And I'm walking by the couch, and there's a Tickle Me Elmo doll with a motion sensor on it. And he's all, Elmo loves you. I was like, go fuck yourself, Elmo. All right? It's your fault she doesn't speak in complete sentences, you weird red motherfucker, As I say, to get you so frustrated, you cuss out Elmo. Who cusses out Elmo? It's Elmo. But then you start having these thoughts like, does she really need to know the word am? Like, can we get through life without knowing am? It's 2 letters, How many times do you use this word, And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, no, in a while she's going to get the contractions and come across I, and it's going to totally fuck her up. We're going to go right back to square one now. So like, all right, calm down. We're going to go over, we're going to start reading again. And so she's reading, and she reads the word coincidence with no problem at all. And I'm like, all right, now you're just fucking with me, aren't you? You little shit, you know? But there have been a few things, though, that have been cool with the Zoom thing. Like, if you're a dad and you're not messing with your kids on Zoom, are you really a dad? I mean, that's like low-hanging fruit, man. That's so easy. And 2 times I've done it, and both times I didn't mean to, and I wish I would have recorded it because it would have gone viral. But like the first time, my 4th grader, she was doing show and tell, and so she's got the cat. She's ready to show the cat to the class, and everybody's on mute, right, until it's their turn to talk. And a little time goes by, and I was walking in the kitchen to get some coffee, and when I walked past her, I just ripped this big fart, just brrr, you know. And then normally she's like, oh, Dad, that's gross, whatever, you know, but she was just silent. And I looked down, I was like, oh, fuck, it's her turn to talk. Oh, shit. And it's just silence in the room, and I don't know what to say. So finally I'm like, next time you feel one of those coming on, you gotta mute yourself, man. That shit's gotta be embarrassing as hell. You know? She's just sitting there with the cat like, you know, just paralyzed. But then my son, okay, there's a backstory on this one. My son, okay, kids, if you don't have kids, and you do have kids eventually, you're going to learn, kids will teach you some of the grossest things about human anatomy that you never knew existed. You know, like, my son, he's 7 years old. He came up to me one day, he's like, Dad, I can't poop. I was like, okay, well, you know, go to the bathroom, we'll try it. And so this went on for like 3 days, and after 3 days and telling us he can't poop, I was telling my wife, I was like, it might be time to take him to the doctor, you know? And so she takes him in the bathroom and checks. He hasn't wiped his ass in a week. He sealed his asshole shut. And he did, yeah, I'm serious. That look you have is exactly what I had. That's the exact look I have, my wife told me. And so she had to take him in and scrub him down and everything. And so fast forward about 2 months, and about 2 months later, I get up out of bed, and you know, my wife gets him going for school and everything, and I'm walking through the hallway, and he's in the hallway bathroom. He's like, Dad, I can't poop again. And I was like, well, did you clean your asshole this time? And he's like, yeah, Dad, I did. I was like, all right, because last time you didn't clean your asshole, and you sealed it shut, and we had to, you know, do all that stuff. And he's like, I did, Dad. I was like, all right, well, if we got to go to the doctor, they got to stick a finger up your butt. And he's like, I don't want a finger up my butt. And all of a sudden, my wife yells from the other room, he's on a Zoom call. And, and y'all, it was slow motion. It was just, oh, fuck. I look over the teacher, man, and he is trying his best to stay professional. He's just sitting there just cracking up, man. And I was like, hey, what's going on? You know, and the thing is, they know I do stand-up, so I think we get a little bit of leeway with the kids, but I have a feeling there's a fundraiser in my future. I'm going to be raising money for that school soon, man. But I want my girls to do well in school, especially. I want my boy to do well, too. But I want the girls to do well because I want them to have a leg up. I want them to be able to take care of themselves when they're older. I don't want them to have to rely on anybody to take care of them. And education is the way to go for that. But I also know the dirty secret on my side of the family tree, and that is that the stripper doesn't fall too far from the pole in my family tree. It's a fact, man. It is. It's a preferred method of employment for women on my side of the family. You know, if we had a family tree up and you got a sticker for being a stripper, there'd be little stripper poles all over that motherfucker, man, all up and down. And I don't have anything against it. Look, man, my mom was a stripper. My cousins were strippers. My nieces were strippers. I mean, it happens, but I just don't want my girls to know this. But they've both done things that freak me the hell out and like send off warning bells and everything. And both of them happened when they were 5 years old. You know, when my oldest was 5, we had a cable guy at the house, and he's walking around the house doing his cable guy stuff. And my 5-year-old daughter keeps running up to him and lifting her shirt saying, you want to see my boobies? You want to see my boobies? And well, where the fuck did you learn that, first of all, you know? And it happened like 6 times, and finally I had to set her down, and I was like, look, hey, first of all, you're 5, you don't have boobies. And I was like, second of all, when you do get boobies, because you will one day, you're a girl, but when you do get boobies, you don't show that shit for free. You save that for speeding tickets or Mardi Gras or something, you know? I mean, matter of fact, ask your mom how we got front row to Ozfest in 2006. I think you'd be a little shocked at the answer. You know what I'm saying is know your worth, girl. Come on. But No, but it freaks me out. It does, man. And the thing is, like I said, we're sending them back to school now. We've been putting it off and putting it off, and I think it's safe now. Me and my wife have both got the vaccine, so we're good. But I also know that they're going to use that against me one day whenever they get mad at me, because, you know, the girls, they're going to get mad at me one day. And I know it's going to come down to that, Dad, you didn't love me. You sent me to school during a pandemic. And like, you couldn't spell am, motherfucker. You know, what was I supposed to do? You got me kind of bent over a barrel here, kid. But driving them to school was one of my favorite times of the day. I used to love getting up, driving and picking them up and hearing about their day. You know, and it was Black History Month, and I picked them up, and my son was in kindergarten. And I asked him, "What'd you learn today, dude?" And he's like, "I learned about Martin Luther." I was like, "Martin Luther King Jr.?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "What'd you learn about Dr. King?" And he's like, "He was a good man and he wanted everybody to get along." I was like, "Yeah, that's sums it up for a kindergartner, you know?" And my third grader, she's like, "Yeah, but he got shot." I was like, "That's what you took from that? What the fuck? You took that dark quick, kid? Jesus Christ. All the shit he did, that's all you remember?" And then my oldest, she's like, "Yeah, he got shot while he was watching a play with his wife." I was like, "No, you got your assassinations mixed up." I was like, "That's not what happened." I was like, "That was Abraham Lincoln." I was like, "Martin Luther King got killed by James Earl Ray in Tennessee." And she's like, "No, he got killed by Billy Ray Cyrus." I was like, no, that's not what happened. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened." And I was like, "No, Billy Ray Cyrus did not kill Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, he did kill country music. We got to give him credit where credit's due. But he did not kill Dr. King, dude." All right. Y'all are such a great crowd, man. We got so many good comedians coming up here for you. Thanks for coming out, man. And I'm Shannon Muggeridge. I'll be your host tonight. I'm going to bring up the next comic. She's a good friend of ours.